Welcome to EPG Pathshala. My name is Dr. Poonam Gulalia. I am faculty with Tata Institute of Social Sciences. The paper which is being discussed is titled Field Work and Field Supervision. The module which I am going to discuss with you now is titled Student Profiles. To begin with, one needs to understand the genesis of social work training in India, which dates back to 1930, when Social Service League started the training for voluntary social workers. In 1936, the foundation for professional education in this discipline was laid by the establishment of Sir Dorabji Tata Graduate School of Social Work, which was later renamed as Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Social work education in India was a generic program in the pre-independence period, that is between 1936 to 46. The introduction of specializations in social work emerged in the post-independence period, primarily under the American influence and partly due to the felt need, as has been reported by Desai in 1985 and subsequently in 1987. Today, there are around 189 schools of social work or departments of social work across the country, which offer a combination of generic and specialized modes of social work education. Some of these colleges of social work and departments of social work are as follows: College of Social Work Nirmala Niketan, Department of Social Work Assam University, Department of Social Work Jamia Millia Islamia New Delhi, Department of Social Work Vishwa Bharati Shanti Niketan, Department of Studies in Social Work Karnataka University, Department of Social Work MS University Baroda, Karve Institute of Social Sciences Pune, Madras School of Social Work, Delhi School of Social Work, Rajgiri School of Social Work Kochi, and Tata Institute of Social Sciences Mumbai. Having given you a little idea about the history of the growth of social work as a profession, one would need to say that in the initial phase, the idea of social work was borrowed from the West, and consequently, the approaches which were adopted and the methods which were undertaken in the profession reflected their ideology and were more individual-centric. The approaches and methods of social work were borrowed from the West and reflected their ideology and happened to be more individual-centric. It was then that casework or working with individuals became the primary and important practice method which was borrowed from the West. However, in India, it is community life that is central, and social work practitioners opined that a community-centric approach was needed to address socially relevant issues and problems. A combination of casework and community approach was therefore seen as being relevant to our needs and times. Contemporary social work education in India, while drawing from the deep-rooted Western ideology of social work, has undergone reorientation in terms of its curriculum, structure, and pedagogy. It has been able to position itself to train students with a knowledge base and skill to be able to address the complex realities, the complexity of issues, and the realities of Indian society. Literature on social work profession therefore lends itself to this shift in focus and states that a holistic focus of social work is universal, but the priorities of the practice profession varies from region to region, state to state, and from time to time, depending on the cultural, historical, and socio-economic conditions, as has been highlighted at the International Federation of Social Workers 2005. In India, with changing polity and shifts in focus from structure to culture, and with the emergence of subaltern positions and voices of caste, class, gender, sexuality, orientations, ethnicity, age, and ability, or a combination of these, social work education has visualized landmark moves towards taking on different stances, which include an empowerment developmental approach, a radical anti-oppressive approach, or a postmodern approach to field realities. The current social work education in India therefore reflects globalization priorities, and the social work education curriculum is therefore designed to address relevant social issues with an increased focus on community context, as has been highlighted by Weigel and Wellborn in 2008. It is the role and the space which is occupied by professional social work which has evolved over time, which has gained recognition in the social development sector, and where increasingly students begin to aspire for professional programs which are being offered by academic institutions both in India and abroad. It is over the years that there has been a gradual change in the student profile, which means the profile in terms of the demographic profile of students, their own aspirations in relation to their personal goals and their professional goals, and also their own understanding of social realities and the social context within this very specific professional space. What are the demographic factors of students who enroll for the social work program at the master's level, and how are these relevant for a student's learning individually and collectively? Educational qualification of students becomes important when we understand that the interdisciplinary domain of social work comprises of knowledge which is borrowed from other academic disciplines and professions, including psychology, sociology, political science, economics, law, management, health, and environmental sciences. Thus, the realm of professional social work can include a wide gamut of activities, and people from different backgrounds can be involved in this practice. Though there is not adequate data for empirical analysis and understanding, it has largely been observed that students come from diverse academic backgrounds, including natural sciences, social sciences, and commerce. They may have completed their bachelor's in social work and may have had exposure to basic social work values and tenets of the profession. Students from professional backgrounds such as medicine, engineering, and paraprofessional courses also have begun to enroll for the master's program in social work, thus adding value to the profession. The educational qualification of the students can be used to the advantage of the student in their own learning. They also bring to the classroom a range of experiences and rich knowledge of their own professions. The age of students may range, as mentioned, from 21 to late 30s or early 40s as well, as some students may enroll directly after completion of undergraduate programs, while few may have completed their postgraduate degree as well in other fields of practice. There are a few students who take a gap year or a few years of gap between enrolling for the postgraduate program and having completed their undergraduate courses for various reasons, which includes personal reasons, work experience, mental health concerns, family responsibilities, and after their gap may aspire to pursue higher education in the field of social work. How does previous work experience of a student or voluntary experience which the student may have undertaken before enrolling for the master's program become beneficial for the student learning? Some students either have voluntary experience or prior work experience in the development sector or in related sectors before enrolling for the master's program. Some of them, as mentioned before, have worked as volunteers with some agencies in their own respective hometowns or soon after completing the graduation program. It is only subsequently that they become aspirants for acquiring professional degrees, having gained some voluntary work experience and having been exposed to social realities. In such cases, they may be in a position to draw cognitive linkages to their prior experiences and to the current fieldwork realities. These linkages become extremely important for their own personal growth as well as professional development. However, it needs to be noted that students may come into the course with certain biases or prejudices, stereotypes or otherwise, which they may have drawn from their previous experiences, from their own socialization, and that they would need to keep an open mind when engaging with the field at the master's level. They would need to engage in constructive interaction and meaningful dialogue with their peers, with faculty, with supervisors, and with field contacts to enable them to develop the required attitudes and skills required for being a professional. Therefore, previous work experience can be used both as an advantage and also be used for furthering their own learning. The other factors which become important in understanding the profile of the student relates to students with special needs. Academic institutions, schools of social work, and departments of social work provide assisted technology such as reading software, including computers with scanners for reading print materials for students with special needs. They also utilize magnification device for students with low vision and assisted learning for students who may have be using hearing aid or may be having hearing problems. All these become useful in classroom teaching, but in the field of practice, other devices need to be used for assisting students, for enabling students to take full advantage of fieldwork learning. They may be assisted in the classroom and in the examinations for writing their exams and ensuring peer group support, but during fieldwork, they need to depend on their co-workers, on facilitators, on stakeholders to enable them to have a smooth learning curve. When allocating fieldwork placements for students with special needs and when monitoring and mentoring students with special needs, we would require a social work professional who would be trained either as a special educator or would have assisted help as a professional who could utilize the field learning spaces so that the student with special needs does not feel inhibited in his or her learning. Sometimes there are organizations who tend to feel uncomfortable or inhibited when students with special needs are placed in the fieldwork setting. Moreover, sometimes co-workers and supervisors also need to be reoriented and relearn what it means to work with students with special needs. All this training and reorientation becomes important when working with students who may have special abilities which need to be taken care of in the fieldwork setting. What does the profile of the student in all these various ways mentioned have implications for learning experience? It is important to understand that the changing nature of social realities and the issues which are emerging in today's day and age impact the practice approaches and are extremely relevant to retain and sustain the motivation of the student in the field. It enhances the student learning but also challenges the experiences which he or she may have in the fieldwork setting. The shift in the student profile ensures that we enable the student to approach the social work profession in such a way that it may lead to varying the life experiences and enhancing his growth and learning. It would not be accurate and rather naive to equate students' experiences which he or she has had over the past decades with what he or she is going to experience in the current social work profession. Since the educational scenario, the fieldwork setting, today's realities and the current context has undergone massive change over the past decade, we would need to ensure that it is in tune with the academic curriculum which is being taught in the classroom. It is in consonance with the teaching methods which are being used in our schools of social work, and also with the upgraded technology which students themselves are very familiar with. All these become extremely important aspects and have implications for the learning experience of students of today's time. Students come from varied backgrounds and have had varied experiences. Some themselves hail from marginalized and vulnerable groups. We have a mix of students in the classroom who hail from urban backgrounds, rural backgrounds, and also from tribal backgrounds. How do we bring them on the same page and enable them to learn with each other and from each other becomes a challenge for the mentor and supervisor. Students coming from varied backgrounds are brought together at a common platform in the departments and schools of social work, and it is essential that we be able to promote a learning environment for them which is inclusive and respectful in nature. When we address you, when we deal with you in the classroom, and when we anchor and handhold you in the field, it becomes our responsibility to see that we do not impose any beliefs or values on you. Imposing fundamental beliefs and values is not congruent with the social work ethics and principles. Social work education continues to emphasize the development of tolerance and understanding of diversity among you as diverse student groups, leading to progressive and constructive learning environments being provided for you for your own learning. Students come from varying religions, varying caste groups, and varying regions. All these need to be taken into account as they have varied ideological beliefs and may impact their cultural practices and their political leanings. There are a few students for whom fieldwork practice becomes a first-time exposure to issues of poverty, marginalization, discrimination, and abuse. But there are others who have seen it and have been exposed to it in their growing up years or in their own backgrounds. Rigorous academic demands and coursework require that we remain sensitive to both these aspects and take these into consideration when undertaking ongoing assessments of clients, stakeholders, agencies, and our own profession. All of these, individually or collectively, may pose challenges to you as students, as you have varying coping skills and varying coping mechanisms. Interaction with faculty members, with your own co-workers, with peers of the same profession or with other professions, and self-reflection will enable you to acquire life skills for negotiating these challenging situations, facing the social context, and will also help you understand the need to integrate your learning experiences and the processes from your different life experiences with your own current work towards fulfilling the objectives of fieldwork at the outset of the profession and as an ongoing activity in the academic program. What then are the essential pointers which you would need to keep in mind to enrich your learning experience in the field? First, students who are coming from interdisciplinary or allied fields of practice may be able to relate the theoretical concepts which are taught in the classroom to the field education practice, while there may be other students who may be able to effectively demonstrate the practice methods in the field. Secondly, it will help you explore the intrinsic demands and the extrinsic rewards for helping your clients or caring for your client populations. Since this is a helping profession, one needs to keep in mind that whatever be our backgrounds and whatever be the profile of your co-workers or the other students who are placed with you for fieldwork, you would need to understand that what is it that motivates you in the field and what are your own expectations from the fieldwork practice experience. You would also need to continue to develop an open attitude to all stakeholders in the field, to your mentors and supervisors, to your clients and agency contacts. You would continue to need to develop openness, acceptance, and tolerance in your interaction with all and in your communication with all in the course of the year. These may sound very simplistic, but in practice, when one is guided and mentored, one begins to understand that one needs to be able to be more self-aware, to believe that one is following the principles of acceptance and tolerance. Acceptance of self and one's own backgrounds, one's own profile and one's own experience become the prerequisites to be able to develop skills to engage empathetically with others, including client systems. It is critical for you to empower your own self before developing the abilities to empower clients and others, including peers. These become extremely essential pointers in your own learning in the field. You would also need to make use of support services which are available in many schools and colleges of social work, including the counseling center, the peer support program, and other mentoring programs which are organized for students on campuses, which may help you to adjust to the learning environment which you encounter in the field. Students may find fieldwork settings to be daunting and challenging experiences in the first semester for those of you who have not been exposed to social realities or may have come from very protective environments. Hand-holding and peer support may there help you to undertake not only a better understanding of your course requirement and your academic requirements, but would also help you to be useful for incremental learning in the fieldwork setting. Students who face issues of stress or anxiety, depression or frustration, or being overwhelmed by either the course curriculum or the learning experiences can always approach the counseling services, the supportive services, the faculty and the mentors, including the faculty advisors, for guidance and support. To summarize, one would like to say that professional social work education, being a practice-oriented profession, has to be in tune with the social political context of the community, the individual and the group setting. The discipline has been designed to provide training to you as students coming from a wide range and a diverse background, such that you are equipped to work in challenging ways and in the social development sector. The module has helped you understand the demographic profile of students and has also helped you look at how life experiences of students may be varied but which could be used to your advantage. Dealing with them, addressing them, and developing appropriate life skills will enable you to enrich your learning experiences and add value to your learning curve. I would urge you to read the e-text and the references which have been made available to you. I look forward to further discussion with you in this regard. Thank you very much.